Hello, this is Olivia Smith with the League of Women Voters of Portland, and you are watching the Video Voters Guide or listening to our podcast. We are here today to talk with candidates running in the May 19, 2026 primary election. We are grateful for the support of the Carolyn Vilna Sailing Foundation, the Weiss Foundation, the Sarah Fruing Foundation, members of the League of Women Voters of Portland, and our media partner, Metro East Community Media. Welcome, Representative Dexter.
Thank you so much for having me. It's great to be here.
What are the most important issues in the United States currently, and what would you do to address them?
Yeah, imminently free and fair elections are a huge concern for people across this nation, and we are working with our attorneys general and leadership to make sure that we're thinking about every possibility for securing those elections. In the broader sense, healthcare for everyone that's affordable, accessible. We are addressing that issue actively, getting prepared for being able to lead in that area right now. Very clearly need universal access with a cap on out-of-pocket costs and standardizing benefits across the board. Our economic opportunity, the economic inequity, housing affordability, just in general, the zero sum of people's incomes do not pay for the things that they need. And so they either need better jobs or more affordable opportunities for sustaining their lives. And then the last thing is government corruption. People don't trust government. We need to make sure that we restore their faith that government can actually help them meet their needs and get the things in life that make it possible to work hard and play by the rules and have an American dream that's actually attainable. And that's simply not true for far too many Americans. So economic opportunity, healthcare, and ending corruption or government, trusting government.
Well, you mentioned economic opportunity. What role do you believe Congress should play in addressing income inequality in America?
Yeah. We literally just had a conversation about this today. I'm in the Monopoly Buster Caucus. We need to close corporate loopholes. Some corporations pay more in Switzerland in taxes than they do in the United States and in pharmaceutical and oil and gas industries in particular. So we need to close loopholes. We need to tax the rich at a equitable level. Many people in the billionaire and multi-millionaire, tens of millions to billionaires pay 0 to 1% or tax rate, whereas many other people are paying 29 to 37% rate. So we need to at least get them to an equitable level. And we have revenue options in Congress that are very real. We need to support small businesses and entrepreneurs, especially those that are offering good wages and benefits to their employees. We need to incentivize the kinds of outcomes that we want, and our tax system simply does not do that. So one major thing is regulation, and then fully funding the FTC and consumer protections so that, the regulations are actually enforced. Right now, even the regulations that do exist are not able to be enforced. So funding the regulatory and oversight groups and tax revenue changes, and then supporting, public education and housing, other things.
Okay. What changes to national immigration policy and administration, if any, would you support?
Oh my goodness. We need a ton of immigration reform. Number one, immigration is a civil issue, and they have militarized themselves and are criminally detaining people, violating all civil rights. So ICE needs to be dismantled, abolished. CBP needs to actually stay in the Customs and Border Protection area and not be facilitating kidnapping of citizens and absolutely, again, partnering with ICE to break pretty much every civil right that people have right now. We do need secure borders, and this is an issue that absolutely I do support. We don't want guns and trafficked children, people, drugs, firearms. Those things should be, as much as we can, secured at the border. So CBP needs to continue to actually secure the borders, but how we enforce immigration needs to be vastly changed. We need a free, fair system for people to get access to visas and entry into our United States when they have asylum claims and others. We know the computer age is upon us. We can actually process people's visas, and everyone should have the ability to apply for entry and have a mechanism to get in, so we know who's in here and what's their background and why and how long they're going to be here, and have a enforceable immigration policy that allows people to build new lives in the United States, especially in those areas where we need them. We're losing healthcare workers, we're losing agricultural workers, we're losing skilled workers across many different sectors right now because they simply are either too fearful to come in, or our system is so broken that they can't get a visa. And certainly no one wants to come into this country without, the appropriate entries right now because of the toxic and reckless and chaotic enforcement that's happening. So yes, immigration enforcement and changes absolutely are needed. And I will not be voting to support anything, any money, any appropriations for CBP and ICE until it's vastly reformed.
You're listening to the Video Voters Guide and podcast of Maxine Dexter, who is running for U.S. Representative in Congress. To what extent should Congress oversee the president's use of military power?
That is very clearly in Article 1. It belongs the ability to declare war and start armed conflict belongs with Congress. And so we need to take that power back. I have voted now, I think 3 times on war powers resolutions in the affirmative. We need to take that power that Congress has given away back. And we know that those executive powers have grown over the last 100 years. We need a reset. They need to be checks and balances that actually work. And over time, we'll probably find that it's too slow for different things and we'll have to liberate things again. But a reset right now is absolutely critical. We are entering, if we aren't already, in a fascist government. And Heather Cox Richardson says we are, so I believe it. She's somebody who I trust her judgment. We cannot continue on this path without massive reforms to the power of the president. And one extraordinary one is the ability to declare war and take our troops into armed combat. We've already seen $50 billion, probably more, spent, and the world's stability uprooted because of this president having too much power.
Thank you, Representative Dexter. This concludes our Video Voters Guide and podcast interview by the League of Women Voters of Portland of Maxine Dexter, running for U.S. Representative in Congress. Election day is Tuesday, May 19. To find additional election resources, including online identification of other candidates and ballot measures on which you may be able to vote, please visit the League of Women Voters of Portland's website, lwvpdx.org, and vote411.org, and then exercise your right to vote. Ballots will be mailed out starting April 30th. For your vote to be eligible to be counted, your ballot must be received by the Multnomah County Elections Division or in one of its designated drop boxes in Multnomah County no later than 8 p.m. on Election Day. We strongly recommend that if you are depositing your ballot in the United States Postal Service, that you do so no later than Tuesday, May 12th, 1 week prior to Election Day. Your voice and your vote matter. Thank you for your interest.